Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman here, coming to you from our studios at the Capital Region International Airport. We're going to stay local right now. We're going to just go kind of almost across the street here to the headquarters of the Michigan Chamber of Commerce and their CEO and president, Jim Holcomb. Congratulations on being the most influential group in the Capital for like the 455th year in a row, I think. You guys
No, I appreciate it. We have a lot of great members, and I have a tremendous staff. They do a lot of good work at the Capitol doing advocacy, but it's all about our members, as you know. It's being the voice of business, and that's what we strive to do every day.
Well, and listen, you represent a tremendous number of employers,
Yes.
which is even a bigger number of employees, right?
Yes, exactly. We represent approximately 5,000 businesses, all 83 counties across Michigan, all industries from your smallest single person mom and pop to the larger corporations. A lot of focus on small and medium-sized companies. That seems to be the engine driving Michigan, and that's where we try to make sure they can do what they do. We're on the job in Lansing so they can be running their stores back on Main Street.
Hey, let's talk about 2026. I know we're halfway through, but
Yeah.
give me some of the highlights. What's going on?
Well, with divided government, I think a lot of times your highlights are, do you have a good defense, which is your offense? There hasn't been a lot of activity of bills passing, but we are proud of some of the things we stopped, really some of the burdensome legislation that was out there attacking job providers and trying to get into how they run their business. We're heading into the budget season here in Michigan. Hopefully the legislators and the governor can solve that, and we can put Michigan on a path forward of economic growth and prosperity.
It's kind of interesting. I do believe that they will have it by July 1st. But I think it's for all the wrong motivation. I think they want to get back in campaign is what they.
Well, I think we're seeing that on a lot of issues. Unfortunately, we're running on a political calendar instead of policy-minded conversations.
Yeah.
Michigan has so many challenges, but with that are great opportunities. And we're encouraging legislators, the governor, everybody, stick around, dig in. Let's put Michigan, position us forward. A lot of people complain that we have a full-time legislature. I actually see it as a strength if we utilize it the right way.
No, you're absolutely right. And that's what it takes to get the right people in there and to get moving all in the same direction. So what would be maybe your one or top two advocacy initiatives this year?
Right now, we're really focused on data centers and trying to make sure, how do we get data centers are just the modern infrastructure of a modern economy in our life. They've been around since the internet was invented, and we need to have good policies moving forward. The public is asking a lot of really good questions. They're showing concern, but we need to make sure we're facilitating a practical conversation to have policies enacted in Michigan that allow Michigan to be a leader in how to responsibly develop data centers. We're actually releasing a report from public sector consultants that dives into this. We have some policy recommendations there, and we want to make sure that we're ready to go in the future.
It's crazy because there's also a lot of misinformation that goes out there on the damage that data centers do.
There is, and a lot of it's driven by emotion. It's fear. You have a lot of data centers that are maybe older, and so they're using older technology, but that with social media, you can take something that happened in another state 15, 20 years ago, and all of a sudden becomes fact for today.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's important for the public to be engaged. It's important for them to say, hey, we're stakeholders too. How's this going to impact us? And we believe that we can fashion good policies that will allow Michigan to be a leader.
So our Future Business Index, which we do every 6 months, and it's sponsored by Cinnaire, it's out in the field right now being filled out. So we're going to have some pretty good data soon here. This is the 41st one we've done, as a matter of fact, since 2006. You do surveys a lot too. What are you finding the pulse is of the business community?
We do our members, and again, thank you for doing that. It's always a benefit to everyone in the business community and for policymakers to see the research you're getting. What we're getting, as you know, business leaders and job providers are optimistic by nature, but they're getting worn down. They're really feeling that they're under attack, and they're under attack for the wrong reasons. If you look, a strong community is usually built around a strong business community. It's those employers locally who are providing the jobs and making kitchen table economics work. And so they feel that every time the government comes in and tries to say, hey, we can run your business better than you, that's an attack on them. But they are optimistic. They think Michigan is a great place to live, work, raise a family, build a business. They just need to be empowered to do so.
It's so funny because we got the same things. People are satisfied with the state of Michigan. They are pulling in wings, we have found, because of the uncertainty. You know how business is with uncertainty.
Yeah. Oh, you need stability, especially when decisions are being made. You're deciding, am I going to grow a business? Am I going to expand, invest? You're deciding not 3 months out or 6 months out, but 2, 3 years out. You're trying to project into the future, and that stability is what's needed to make sure you can rely on your assumptions.
So I just had lunch with Sandy Burrow the other day, and we ran into each other up at the Mackinac
Yep.
Policy Conference. Obviously, how did you feel about it?
I thought it was great, and I always commend Sandy. They do such a wonderful job of bringing people together. And again, they're convening people to have the important conversations we need to have. And that's always beneficial. I thought it was a great conference. A lot of issues were touched on, and they were meaningful issues that are what is important to Michigan.
Yeah, it's a great gathering. Jim Holcomb, President and CEO of the Michigan Chamber of Commerce. Thanks so much for the time, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be back with more on the Michigan Business Network. You're watching the Michigan Business Beat.